Please join me and watch HealthLink on Rogers TV.
This is Rogers TV.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Thanks for joining us today. We are here at the tip of the Bruce Peninsula, Bruce County. Lovely spot to check out. But we have a special guest today. We are with Captain Lorne here at the Coast Guard, which is at the north entrance of the Georgian Bay, where Lake Huron and Georgian Bay meet. So this is kind of a unique spot where this station is. Thank you so much for letting us come and visit you today. We've got the perfect weather today. The waters are calm, and we've got the Coast Guard boat here in the background. But Captain Lorne works here, so tell us what your job is here.
So I'm the commanding officer here at the Tobermory Station. So if the call comes in, I'm going to take the information down, and based on that, we'll gather the crew together, pick which boat's going to be best for the job, and we're going to try to either save lives out on the water, help vessels out there in trouble, or protect the marine environment.
Amazing job, an absolute amazing job. Now, are you here 24/7? Like, how does that work? You have to be here all the time?
Yeah, so our Coast Guard station is open from April through until December. We're available 24/7 with a 30-minute standby, although whenever the call comes in, we're pretty much ready to go. So we have 2 crew rotations, so we stay on for 2 weeks, and then our other crew comes in and they stay on for the next 2 weeks, and then we come back.
Wow. Now, how many stations are there in our Great Lakes here?
There's 9 across the Great Lakes, and then in between them we also have IRB program, which is an inshore rescue student program that helps during the busier season or the summer months.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, I just assumed everything was on the Great Lakes, so you're looking after the more inner lakes as well.
Sorry, no, it is the Great Lakes.
Oh, all part of,
yeah,
okay,
all
my
part of the
mistake.
Great Lakes.
All part of the Great
Yeah.
Lakes. Now, what's unique that I find really interesting is we're very fortunate to have a station in Meaford and then a station up here, so close together. What area does the Tobermory station look after?
So the Tobermory station looks after from the Lake Huron side, about Southampton area up to Great Duck Island, all the way over to the Georgian Bay side from about a line Cape Croker across to Snug Harbor. And south of there, Meaford will cover. Okay. And then we cover all the way up to Killarney and Little Current as well.
Wow, that's a huge area. Do you ever run into 2 calls? Like, there's not enough of you to go around sometimes.
That's true. So we have our Joint Rescue Coordination Center that knows where all the vessels are and the different assets in the area. So if we're tasked on a different call, they'll know who can come in, whether it's another Coast Guard vessel, one of the IRB boats, auxiliary Coast Guard, or if there's any other vessels of opportunity in the area to assist. And it will be the highest priority that we may have to, if we're doing just a tow, we may have to secure that vessel and go to a medical call.
Right, yeah. Definitely. Yeah, you would have to prioritize. Now, you probably work with other emergency services up here as well?
Yeah, we're really fortunate in that. We've got a lot of community partners. Here in Tobermory, we work really closely with Parks Canada. We actually share the station and the base here with them. We also work closely with the fire, EMS, and OPP, as well as the Harbour Master and different of the tour boats, Owen Sound Transport Company.
Wow.
And everyone's kind of got the same goals there.
That's huge. That's huge. Have you ever had to assist like the Chichiman or anything like that, or are they kind of their own self-sufficient?
They're very prepared. So they run through a lot of drills, a lot of exercises, but we do a lot of joint training with them as well, so that if they're in a situation they need some assistance, such as a medical on board, that maybe we can approach their boat, take the medical off for them if they're underway, or if there was, hopefully not, but a larger incident, then we can assist in that way as well. And we have emergency plans set up for any possibility.
Wow, my goodness, the training that must go with this.
There's a lot of training.
Yeah, it must be.
Yeah.
I can't imagine, because you're working with all those emergency groups. You must be meeting many times throughout the year to make sure that your strategic plans are all in place, and emergency management plans. That's amazing. So do you stay up here then all year round, or do you kind of move around after your contract is finished? Like,
yeah, so we're typically, our crew's on for the 2-week rotation from April until December. But we do move different locations throughout the Great Lakes. So, for example, last year I worked in Goderich. This year I'm in Tobermory. Some of the crew have worked here for a number of years, but sometimes you move to a new location.
okay, very interesting. My goodness, there's a lot to learn. Would we be able to go down and have check out the boat?
Yeah.
Wonderful. I'm looking forward to this. So we're down here on the dock right next to the boat. Captain Lorne is going to introduce us to your crew member. I thought there would have been more people, but I'm good with what we have here to operate the boat.
Yeah, so we have 4 crew, and that's the same for all the search and rescue bases.
Okay.
And so this is Scott, he's our engineer.
Hello.
Then we have Zach and Jackie, who are our deckhands, but they're also our rescue specialists.
Okay, and so you being the engineer, you're beside the captain on the boat?
I'm responsible for running the systems aboard the vessel. So I start and operate the engines, and I diagnose any issues with any system on the vessel. I'm also part of the SAR team. So that's basically my job.
That's a big job.
Yeah.
That's really big. And then the deckhands, you're just that on, but you're also assisting, I'm assuming, everyone, right?
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
we're responsible for the deck. We handle lines. If they need a spotter or extra eyes, we get the binoculars out. We're basically Lauren's eyes and ears so that she can focus on navigating and not have to worry about what's going on around her.
Wow, this is an amazing team. Like you all work together as one for one common goal. This is just remarkable. And only 4 to manhandle a boat that's how long?
47 feet.
47 feet.
Yeah.
I do well to park my car. I can't imagine you guys operating a 47-foot boat. This is truly an education for me. I'm really looking forward to getting on the boat and seeing how you guys work together. There's another boat here kind of in front of us, and that's Zodiac. Is
Yeah.
that part of this group as well?
That's right. So
Okay.
based on the information we have for the call, we'll pick which boat's going to be best suited for that tasking. So the Zodiac's a 26-foot boat that's maximum speed is approximately 40 knots. So it's best for shallow water areas or medical calls where you really need to get there fast, someone's in the water, something like that. Where the 47-foot or the cutter is a little bit slower. Its max speed is about 24 knots, but it's going to handle the heavy sea conditions or weather conditions, as well as it's going to be better for, towing larger vessels situations
Right.
like those, or longer calls where we're going to be out for a long duration of time.
Right, yeah, that totally makes sense. I really didn't think of the logistics of the Lake Huron side being shallower or around the islands here as well. So yeah, navigation purposes, yeah, you would need 2 boats. Very
Yeah.
interesting. Wow, well, could we have a look at the big boat, the 47-foot boat?
Sure, come on aboard.
Wonderful.
Welcome to the traditional, ancestral, unceded territory of the Stalo people. The Stalo are people of the river. I'm so thankful for the courage and resiliency of our ancestors who lived on this land since time immemorial. Each of us have gifts from the Creator, and our Creator has a plan and purpose to be fulfilled in our territory. As we embrace our traditional teachings, we can lead the next generation into the fullness of what our Creator designed. Our shared history reveals a broken relationship, but as all Canadians commit to hear truth, acknowledge injustice, we can learn to walk in our traditional way, Letsamot, with a good heart and a good mind. Then all of our lives will be enriched. Kwasai.
What kind of show do you want to see on Rogers TV? What interests you? Log on to rogerstv.com, fill out a show proposal, and tell us about your segment idea. We want to know what you want to see. Rogers TV, only on Rogers.
I'm number 24, Tays Jordan.
And number 21, Harry Nancy.
Tune in to Attack Rap
on Rogers TV.
Welcome back from break. We are here with the Canadian Coast Guard at Tobermory in Bruce County, and we're here with Scott, who is the engineer of this fabulous 47-foot boat. Of course, life jackets, first thing before we get on the boat, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You got to wear it for it to work.
Exactly. There's a lot of neat features on this boat. There's tons of railing.
Yep.
I realize you got to hang on to it to get on, but what other purposes does a lot of this stuff have?
Well, this is a life-saving boat, and this boat goes out in the worst weather imaginable. So while we're out and we're walking around the vessel, we have to have a lot of points that we can grab onto. The old saying is one hand for the boat, one hand for yourself.
Right.
So you always want to have a point of contact on the vessel. That's why there's railings all over the place, and that's why we have these D-rings all over the place. So when it's really rough, we can wear our safety belts and clip in to those D-rings so that if the boat were to roll suddenly, unexpectedly, we wouldn't go over the side.
Right, it totally makes sense, because you have to look out for your own safety as well as helping others.
Absolutely.
And then you've got a type of
this is called the rescue well. Yeah.
Okay.
This is the rescue well. So you can see that the deck of the boat, the actual deck of the boat, there's quite a bit of freeboard from the water line to the deck. Mm-hmm. And if we were coming alongside a person to pull them out of the water, it'd be very difficult to get them up that high. So the designers have built a rescue well into the side of the boat, right. So we can come down the stairs and be right at the point of the water to roll people into the vessel when we need to rescue them.
Right. That totally makes sense.
Yeah, it's one of the design features.
You've got a pole hook, or I probably have the wrong term for it.
It's a boat hook. Yeah.
It's a boat hook. Okay.
Yeah.
Just to hopefully grab someone that's wearing a life jacket.
Yeah.
If they're in the water, it makes getting them a little easier. Mm-hmm. And a lot of other cool things.
Yeah, the vessel's really designed. It's a self-righting lifeboat, right? So it's a motor lifeboat. You can see that it's tested when it's built. They roll it right over and it'll come back up.
I didn't know that.
The vessel can roll 360 degrees and still survive. So if you look up on the mast there, that's a positive, it's a displacement tank up there, displaces air. So when the boat rolls over, it displaces enough air to roll back up. And you can see all our other antennas up there. We have an air-to-ground antenna. We have a direction finder, a radio direction finder, so that if someone is out there with a marine radio and they key that marine radio, that'll tell us what direction the signal's coming from, so we can find them more easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, and continuing down, we have a life raft lashed to the deck.
Okay.
That's for if we have to abandon the vessel at any point in time.
You have to abandon the vessel.
If we have to abandon the vessel, yes.
Okay.
It's on a hydrostatic release, so if the boat sinks, the raft will float free and inflate, and we can swim up to it.
Wow.
That's what that's for.
Amazing. And of course, you've got lights as well.
Yeah,
to be seen.
The boat is fitted with all kinds of different spotlights, and our main searchlight is right up there at the top. It's a remotely controlled searchlight that the captain can control with a joystick.
Man,
yeah.
So much that I had no idea. So how much would something like this cost?
I believe that when the boat was built, it was a $2.5 million build. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that's what it was.
And
2.5
escalating
million.
every year thereafter.
Well, we built
costs.
a lot of them, right? So the more you build, the less they cost.
Okay. And where would they get built?
This particular boat was built at Victoria Shipyard in British Columbia.
In British Columbia.
Yeah, built in 2002.
Right, and it's something that Department of Fisheries and Oceans has specs for, right? That
Yes.
It's made to order.
Basically, yeah, they're all custom built for the Canadian Coast Guard.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Now your Zamboni that you've got up front here as well, it is high tech as well.
It is, yes. This is actually a Zodiac.
Oh, sorry.
It is. It's a Zodiac Hurricane. So
Hurricane.
It's a 753. We call it a 7.53 meter Zodiac. It was. It is fitted with twin 175 Yamaha 4-stroke outboard engines, and it's very fast. Yeah, it'll do about 40 knots on the water.
I love the seats.
Yeah.
You won't fall out of that seat.
No, it's like riding a horse.
It is.
And they're shock rides, so it saves your back a little bit when we're going in really heavy seas.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, this boat is also self-righting.
Really?
So yeah, there's an inflation bag right there on the top of the A-frame.
Okay.
So if we were to roll this over while we were out and we survived the rollover, we could swim up to the vessel, and there's a pull cord on the back of the transom. We would pull that cord, that bag would inflate, and it would flip the boat back over.
Oh my gosh.
And we could get back in.
Amazing technology.
Amazing. Yeah.
Amazing. And then of course everything is GPS and
GPS,
radar,
we have
like all
chart
the...
plotters, radar, VHF radio. We have most of the same equipment on this boat that we have on that one.
Man, do you have to inspect this stuff like daily? Like, is there a certain checklist that you have to go
absolutely.
through?
Absolutely. We have a daily inspection that we do on both vessels every day. We have monthly inspections. We have a maintenance program that we follow to the T. Everything has to be in perfect working order all the time.
For every call.
That's right.
No
all the
breakdowns.
time, every time.
Every time.
If we do break down, it's pretty rare. You know, all mechanical things break. But if we do break down, we have an excellent service department that provides us excellent service. So we're back up and running as fast as possible.
Amazing. I never knew. I'm certainly getting my eyes opened up today. I'm looking forward to getting on the boat and seeing what that's all about.
All right, let's go.
Thanks. We're down here in the engine room with Scott. This is your baby, right?
Yes, it is.
It is. What makes this?
We're actually standing in the survivor space right now.
Okay.
This is the actual engine room right here. Down in the engine room, we have two 3196 diesel Caterpillar engines. Each one produces about 475 brake horsepower. So we're just under 1,000 horsepower for this boat, and that's a lot of horsepower.
That's a lot of horsepower.
Yeah.
So how many gallons of diesel then do you have on board here?
We carry approximately 1,500 liters of diesel, and it's a single tank, centerline tank, goes right in the center of the vessel right here. We're standing on top of it right now.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah,
Wow.
and it'll push the boat, like the diesel that we carry will give us enough range for about 200 nautical miles.
That's quite a bit. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It is very good, but you've got a
good.
lot of horsepower.
We do. We have a lot of power, so we can tow heavy boats, and the boat is a planing hull, so we need a lot of horsepower to get the boat up on plane.
Wow. I noticed we've got hearing devices hanging up here. It must be loud.
Yeah, when the engines are up and running, it does get quite loud down here, so we have hearing protection on the vessel.
Right.
We also all carry some earplugs, so that we're put them in whenever we need them.
Right. A lot of interesting things behind you here as well. What is this?
when we're out underway, we don't like I don't like monitoring the engines from inside the engine room, just because of wave action. I don't want to get thrown into the engine when we're out at sea, so I monitor the engines from here. So this is a full gauge suite, and it's electronic gauge suite. I also can pull up a vessel monitoring, so I can, this is the alarm history, so I can see what alarms have gone off in the past and what alarms are going off at the time if we do have an alarm. It also gives me sensor status, so there are several different sensors all over the vessel that I can monitor from here, and it tells me what's going on with the boat at all times.
At all times. And then it keeps the memory
Yes.
Just as you've shown.
Yeah, this is actually on a cellular modem. So it's all being beamed off the boat all the time so that they keep a record of it in Ottawa. So they know what's going on with the vessel at all times as well.
Right, yeah, well, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And you also called this a survivor?
Survivor space, yes. So if we were to bring casualties on board and we needed a place to put them, we can bring them in here and these seats flip down. We have seats on both sides that flip down and they're bench seats and we can set people down here. We can also flip this seat down and put a stretcher on top of it if we needed to, if someone was injured. So this is where we would bring anyone that we rescued. That you rescued. Yeah.
And is there any time that you have to bring someone from, say, emergency services with you to get someone? Like if it was a certain type of call, or is it?
Yeah, it has happened. Sometimes we carry EMS with us.
Yeah.
If they're in the area and they want to come, we will. But our rescue specialists are fully capable of handling any situation that we're in. And typically what we'll do is we'll pass off to EMS when we get back to shore.
When you get back here.
Yeah.
And then this way takes us up to?
That's the enclosed bridge up there.
Right.
And that is the engine room down there.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. Amazing. So your job then is to monitor this, but you also help get things started.
Yeah, I'm the engineer, so we'll get the boat running so that we can get out on the water.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah.
Lovely trip out here into this small section of the bay. I see that the Chichiman dock is just behind us. It's an amazing feeling being out here in the water. What kind of good type stories have you had working here with the Canadian Coast Guard?
Oh, we have a lot of great stories. You know, with any of the bad comes the good, and it's a very busy harbor. Especially Tobermory. It's one of the only safe havens if you're crossing from Georgian Bay to Lake Huron or back. So we get a lot of different vessels through the area, and we'll be helping anyone from, paddle boarders right through to the larger vessels like the Chichiman.
Yeah, definitely. And you being a deckhand, this is your dream job. This is where you want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I got into the Coast Guard because I wanted to help people, and I really like being on the water. So being able to combine those two things together was really the best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds. How, career-wise, would you ever want to move up to what Captain Lauren is doing here, or you're just happy doing what you're doing?
Right now, I'm perfectly content where I am. However, this job does take a toll on your body, and maybe in the future, way, way, way down the road,
right,
I might decide going for a position like Lauren's where it becomes a little bit more administrative. It might be a better fit, but yeah, for right now, I like being hands-on, and I like getting to look in people's faces when you rescue them and see that relief and joy.
Exactly, and I think I would want to be where you are, helping the people. No, because there's what Captain Lauren does. There's huge responsibilities that being the captain of this ship and working with your crew, and working with other agencies, right? Like that's a big thing. And do you have to coordinate all these practices and such with the other agencies?
It is, yeah. We're really big on working together. It's a lot more enjoyable to do your training together and come across, any surprises in that type of environment than being in the middle of a critical call and just starting to figure out, contact information or how to work with fire and OPP and things like that. So by, working with those systems, we're able to set up with EMS, drop-off locations, best points of contact, different approaches, who can do high-angle rescues if we're off on an island, and that way there's no surprises.
Right. I can't imagine. I was sitting at the back of the boat here in awe as you controlled from both sides here, taking the boat out, and how the deckhands were putting things in place and securing everything, and in your conversations that you had just for us to get out here. You are such a well-trained team working together. Like I'm thank you for what you do. It's just been an absolute fabulous day today, being out here on the water, and I feel very privileged that we were able to do all this together. One of the things that Scott had mentioned when we were at the back of the boat is the depth. Now you have a depth finder on the boat?
A depth sounder there. So Tobermory is fairly unique that way. We'll get depths up over a few hundred meters. So it is a very deep area, but it also is a lot of rock. So when it's not, you're into a problem. And there are a lot of shoals, especially through the channels, Devil's Island Channel, things like that, boats get into trouble. Because if they're watching their depth sounder for kind of a awareness of something coming up, there isn't that gradual slope like some of the smaller lakes, like Lake Erie, that's going to start gradually shallowing.
Right.
This one, you've got the water, and then you don't.
And then you don't, yeah. And I can't imagine the wave action that happens out there when you've got Georgian Bay and Lake Huron, and so you have like two conflicting water bodies, and you're in the middle of it. I certainly understand why there's so many sunken boats out there.
It definitely builds.
Yeah, it really would. So you have to be on the mark all the time. It's just been a huge education. So how is the best way if someone was to get in trouble on the water? Because we have water all around us here in Grey and Bruce County. Do they phone 911? Like what's the proper protocol?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. Actually, it's really important to have not only your cell phone, but also a marine radio or VHF with you when you're out on the water. And you can get small portable ones, or you can have the fixed systems like we do. But if you go on channel 16 on the radio, then the benefit of that is that all the other vessels in the area, especially in a commercial harbor where they have the radios as well, can hear your message. And if they're closer, then they can help you while we're on our way. But the cell phones are also useful because the 911 system can try to ping a location. The problem that we've found is a lot of the areas that we're operating in, there's no cell phone coverage. So we end up where we can't actually get that information that we need to find you. Yeah. So it's best to have both systems, and you can also use star 16 on the cell phone to reach our Marine Communications Center as well. And then they'll coordinate us to assist.
Right, and a lot of people should know this information if they have their watercraft certification, stuff like that. Yeah, that's stuff that I don't, so that's why I thought,
it's definitely covered in that. And if you don't, just pass it along, channel 16 on the radio or star 16, and that's going to be the best response out on the water. Now we do, like I said, work very well jointly with the emergency service system. So if you did call 911, it will get to us, but a more direct route is through that channel 16.
It's through that marine system. Yeah. Very good. Oh, this has just been an incredible day. Incredible. So where do we head next?
Well, we can head back to the harbor. Thank you.
Thanks again. We have had a wonderful day today. I would like to thank the crew here, and I want to do a shout out to Sam, who has been instrumental in helping us get here today, which has also been a great educational experience for you, our viewers. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you again next time on Wandering Grey Bruce. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.